have no idea how much a woman judges you by one single hug. Yes, one. One moment, one pull, one breath, one touch. And here is the dark secret most men never learn. A woman decides whether she can feel safe with you, trust you, desire you, or crave you based on how your body communicates in that specific window of time. Today, I am going to tell you 4 simple psychological triggers women feel during a hug. Triggers that instantly make her want you more, even if she tries to hide it. And trust me, women always pretend it is just a hug. It never is. Think about it. Every hug is a conversation, a silent negotiation between 2 bodies, a test that happens beneath the surface of polite social interaction. She is reading you, your confidence, your presence, your masculine energy, your comfort with intimacy, all in the span of 3 to 5 seconds. Most men completely miss this opportunity. They hug like they are handling a fragile piece of furniture. Stiff, awkward, disconnected. Or worse, they hug with desperation. Too tight, too long, too needy. Both send the exact same message. I do not know what I am doing with women. But when you understand what a woman is truly feeling in that moment, when you know exactly which psychological buttons to press, everything changes. Let us start by identifying the core failure. Most men approach a hug as a social obligation. They treat it like a handshake with extra surface area. This lack of intentionality is the first red flag. When you are unintentional, you are invisible. A woman's biological radar is tuned to detect presence. If you are checked out or just going through the motions, she feels a vacuum where your masculine energy should be. On the other end of the spectrum is the man who uses the hug to steal value. He clings. He squeezes too hard. He tries to force a connection that is not there yet. This is equally damaging because it signals a lack of options and a high degree of social anxiety. The goal is to be the golden mean, the man who is a solid, grounded force. You must realize that a hug is the only time in a standard social interaction where your entire nervous system is in direct contact with hers. It is a high-bandwidth data transfer. Every muscle fiber in your body is telling her a story about who you are. If your shoulders are up around your ears, you are telling her you are stressed and reactive. If your core is soft and receding, you are telling her you lack boundaries. But if you are structured and calm, you are telling her you are a leader. This is the invisible audition that determines whether you are a nice guy or a desired man. 1. The anchor touch. This is the technique that melts her defenses instantly. Most men place their hands randomly. Some on the waist, some on the shoulders, some just hovering. But if you want her to feel something deeper, you need to use the anchor. As you pull her in, place one hand, specifically your dominant hand, firmly on her upper back, right between her shoulder blades. This is not a lower back touch, which can sometimes feel too aggressive too soon. And it is not a shoulder touch, which feels platonic. The upper back is the psychological center of security for a woman. It is the part of the body where she carries the weight of the world, where her stress manifests as physical tension. When you place your hand there with firm, grounded pressure, something primal happens in her brain. It sends a signal to her amygdala that says, "You are covered." This is the same instinctual response that makes a woman feel safer walking behind a man in a crowded street. By anchoring her there, you are assuming the role of the protector without saying a single word. It creates an immediate drop in her cortisol levels. You will often feel her take a sudden, sharp breath in and then a long, slow sigh as her body literally gives up its tension to you. This is the moment she stops thinking about the hug and starts feeling it. This firm pressure must be steady. No tapping, no rubbing, just a solid, unmoving presence. It signals that you are a man who can be relied upon, a man who has the strength to hold her world together for a moment. This is the foundation of trust. 2. The temporal extension. This is where you hold her for exactly half a second longer than expected. This is the most critical timing adjustment you will ever make. In our fast-paced digital world, everything is rushed. Most hugs are over before they even begin. They are nervous, frantic bursts of contact. When you deliberately extend the hug, you are creating a temporal bubble that belongs only to the two of you. This extra half second is the psychological pause that creates emotional imprinting. It makes her body remember you longer than she would care to admit. Here is the internal monologue of a woman during this extended moment. First, there is the recognition of the hug ending. Then there is the realization that you are still there. In that tiny gap of time, her brain searches for a reason. Why is he still holding me? Is he interested? Am I interested? This creates a micro moment of tension. The good kind of tension. It is the tension of possibility. By not being the first one to break the contact, you are showing that you are not afraid of her or the feelings she provokes in you. You are demonstrating that you are comfortable in close physical proximity, which is a massive indicator of high sexual intelligence. Most men are terrified of this moment. They feel the social pressure to pull away. So they do. By resisting that pressure, you distinguish yourself as a man who moves at his own pace. You are not a slave to social conventions. You are the architect of the interaction. This half second is the difference between being a friend and being a romantic interest. It forces her to acknowledge your presence as a man, not just a person. 3. The slow exhale. This is the hidden dominance cue that women absolutely love. As you are holding her, you must take a slow, calm, and deliberate breath out. Deep, relaxed, and controlled. This is a masculine energy signal that speaks directly to her subconscious. You see, the human nervous system is designed to co-regulate with those we are close to. If you are breathing like a marathon runner, or if your breath is shallow and trapped in your chest, her body will perceive a threat. It will stay in a state of high alert. But when you breathe slowly and deeply, when your chest rises and falls in a calm, steady rhythm, she feels it through every point of contact. Your slow exhale triggers her parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest part of the brain. Her body literally relaxes because of your energy. She feels safe, held, and grounded. Think about how women describe the men they are deeply attracted to. He just has this calming presence, or I feel so peaceful around him. This feeling does not come from your words or your bank account. It comes from your breath. It shows her that you are not reactive, you are not desperate, and you are not performing. You are just there, fully present, comfortable in your own skin. This is the most underrated tool of attraction in the masculine toolkit. If a woman relaxes in your arms, she bonds with you emotionally at a speed that would shock most men. Relaxation is the precursor to trust, and trust is the highway to desire. By breathing for her, you are leading her into a state of emotional surrender. 4. The cheek graze. This is the knockout punch that she will never confess she enjoys. As you are finally beginning to release the hug, turn your head just slightly so that your cheek brushes against hers. It should be a subtle, soft graze. Nothing aggressive, nothing overtly sexual, just a micro moment of skin-to-skin contact in the most vulnerable area of the body. The face is a highly intimate zone, usually reserved for family or lovers. By crossing this threshold during a standard hug, you are moving the interaction into intimate territory. Her brain will register this shift immediately. It plants a seed of curiosity that she cannot unthink. She will walk away from the encounter wondering if it was an accident or if it was intentional. That ambiguity is where attraction lives. It makes her replay the hug in her mind over and over again. And here is the secret. That micro feeling of your skin against hers makes her subconsciously imagine what it would be like to kiss you. You have bypassed her logical defenses and entered her imagination. Once you are in a woman's imagination, you have already won. This technique is about planting desire without demanding it. It is an invitation without pressure. It shows that you are a man of nuance, someone who understands the power of the small thing. Most men are either too loud with their intentions or too quiet. The cheek graze is the perfect volume. It is a whisper of attraction that echoes in her mind long after you have parted ways. Why are these 4 triggers so effective? To understand this, we have to look at our evolutionary history. For millions of years, before language even existed, our ancestors communicated through touch. A woman's ability to judge a man's suitability as a partner was based on his physical presence and the safety he provided. Her nervous system is a highly evolved machine, designed to filter out the weak and the unstable. When you use the anchor touch, you are satisfying her ancient need for protection. When you use the slow exhale, you are demonstrating the emotional stability required to lead a tribe or a family. When you use the temporal extension, you are showing the confidence of a high-status male who does not fear intimacy. And when you use the cheek graze, You are signaling your own genetic interest in a way that is calibrated and high value. You are essentially speaking to the old brain, the part of the mind that makes decisions before the logical new brain even gets a chance to weigh in. This is why women will often feel attracted to men they should not like on paper. It is because that man is pushing the right biological buttons. He is speaking the primitive language of attraction. By mastering these triggers, you are not just getting better with women, you are returning to your natural state as a grounded, masculine man who knows how to communicate with the opposite sex. You are becoming a man of presence in a world of ghosts. Consider the physiological impact of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. During a proper hug, oxytocin is flooded into the system, but only if the nervous system feels safe. By using the anchor and the breath, you are creating the optimal chemical environment for bonding. You are not just a stranger anymore. You are a person her biology has vetted and approved. This level of physical awareness and presence affects every area of your life. When you are grounded in your body, you command respect in a room. You move differently. You speak from your chest instead of your throat. People naturally look to you for leadership. The hug test is just one specific application of a much larger principle, that your internal state is constantly being broadcasted to everyone around you. If you are anxious and scattered, people will treat you as such. If you are centered and intentional, people will treat you with gravity. Women, being more attuned to emotional and somatic cues, are simply the most sensitive barometers for this energy. You must realize that women have a very different experience of the world than men do. They are constantly navigating spaces where they have to be on guard. They are frequently approached by men who are either too aggressive or too weak. Both types are draining. When a woman encounters a man who can give a truly grounded, masculine hug, it is a massive relief for her system. It is like coming home. You are giving her the gift of a moment where she does not have to be the one in control. You are allowing her to drop into her feminine energy because she trusts your masculine energy. This is why the anchor touch on the upper back is so effective. It is a literal and symbolic way of saying, I have got your back. To put this into practice, follow this synthesis. Approach with purpose. As contact is made, engage the anchor on her upper back. Maintain the hold, count to 3 slowly, and exhale deeply, letting your shoulders drop. As you pull away, let your cheek graze hers. Release slowly, maintaining eye contact for 1 second longer. This creates a psychological cocktail of safety, desire, and closeness. It is the perfect masculine hug. You are not forcing anything. You are simply awakening what she already wants to feel. Most men go through life blind, never seeing the invisible threads that connect us. They miss the signals, misread the cues, and wonder why they feel disconnected. But you have taken the first step toward true mastery. You have the knowledge that sets you apart from the crowd. You understand that every interaction, no matter how small, is an opportunity to demonstrate who you are. When you master the hug, you master the first gate of intimacy. You become the man she remembers. You become the man who understands her without a single word. This is your edge. This is your power. Use it with intention. Use it with respect. And watch as the world responds to the new version of you. The version that is grounded. The version that is present. And the version that finally knows how to lead. By being here and learning these nuances, you are already ahead of 99% of men. Most guys will go their whole lives thinking a hug is just a hug. They will never understand why some men have it and they do not. You are cracking the code. You are taking the time to understand the deep psychological machinery of attraction. That commitment to mastery is what defines an elite man. Practice these triggers, own your presence, and watch how the world, and the women in it, begins to respond to you differently. You are no longer guessing. You are no longer hoping. You are executing with precision. And that, in itself, is the most attractive quality a man can possess.